Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk about Jurassic Park 3. As many of you already know by now, the production for the third film in the Jurassic Park series was rather chaotic to say the least. A lot of stuff was constantly changing behind the scenes in order for the filmmakers to deliver the best version of the movie that they wanted to make. Well, one of those changes that not too many people talk about happens to be the designs of the series' iconic Velociraptors. I'm not so sure too many people are aware of the fact that the designs that we got in the final cut of the film actually weren't what they originally had planned. So I wanted to do this video to show you guys what they were thinking of implementing early on in production. In the final cut of the film, we get these two designs. The females in the movie are white with a collection of black spots, and the males are a darker color with a mohawk of quills on top of their heads. Well, this is what Stan Winston originally had in mind instead. As you can see, this is extremely different. The color scheme alone for the dinosaur should pop out at you immediately. Here we can see that a practical effect had been created for a red Velociraptor with black stripes that are not too dissimilar to those of the orange tiger stripe males in the Lost World. The skull shape also retains the look of the previous two movies, which means the mini crest-like bump in their heads must have come later. You can also see that these raptors have a considerably darker shade of green adorning their eyes, especially when you compare them to the females of the last two movies. Now, ultimately, they did not use this variant. For reasons unknown, they decided to go in a very different direction with what they ultimately filmed. Despite this, I still think it's pretty cool to check out some of the stuff that they were brainstorming ideas for way back when this movie was being developed. And I actually wanted to talk about this design specifically because I have a bit of a theory that it actually did get used in something outside of the movie itself. If we go back to the year 2001 and take a good look at all of the merchandising material that was made to support JP3, we can see that a lot of the stuff had little to nothing to do with the plot of the film itself. Action figures had toy lines featuring mercenaries and vehicles, and several video games showed off completely different storylines than what we got in the movie. That being said, most of the material still retains some common elements. People being stuck on Site B, a giant Spinosaurus, and the new redesign of the quilled Velociraptors. Now, in my personal opinion, the greatest video game tie-in that was released for the third movie has always been Jurassic Park 3 Island Attack. I had this game back in the day for the Game Boy Advance, and I beat it countless times in the early 2000s. To me, it's simply the coolest thing that resulted from the third movie. In the plot of the game, we follow Dr. Grant on the island alone, without any other people to help him. He encounters the Spino, some raptors, and of course the T-Rex early on during the playthrough. Once you get a little bit further into the game though, you come across some deadlier raptors that actually look very different from what we've seen before. These raptors are given red and blue color schemes respectively. They aren't that frequent in the game, but their colors alone make them stand out from the rest of your enemies on Site B. Now, these red raptors share a design that is strikingly similar to what Stan Winston had in store for the third film, way before they decided to go with what we ended up with in the final cut. So, could these raptors that we got to see in Island Attack be some sort of remnant from the old practical effect design? Honestly, I have no idea, but I do want to say that there is a correlation with both of their color schemes. So at the very least, it is an extremely interesting coincidence if these two had nothing to do with one another. Anyways, what do all of you guys think about this old abandoned design? Are you a fan of the red raptors that went unused? And what do you think about the JP3 raptors that we got in the final version? Whatever your thoughts and opinions may be, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Now before I go, I want to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives like John O'Dia. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well, Josh Blaylock, Stephen Hill, and Golvig. Words can't really express how awesome it is to have you guys tell me how much you enjoy the stuff I do, and I seriously am extremely thankful for everything that you do to help. Honestly, it means the world. Now I'd like to thank you all for watching this video and hope that you all enjoy today's content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. See you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.